Now, how cool is this? I was actually at the Van Gogh immersive experience in London this year with my son. I took him to his first ever gig to see a band called to see an act called Boy with Uke. Incredible, loved it. But before that, we went to see the Van Gogh immersive experience, which is incredible. If you've never seen it, there's a bit with VR headsets and things, which is okay. There's lots of storytelling through mainly replicas of his art, his paintings, his works, but at the end, there's this huge room, and they project paintings and moving images and things from as if they were from his paintings onto all four walls, floor, ceiling, and it is immersive, as it says in the name. It's an incredible way. I keep saying incredible. It's a fantastic way to experience Van Gogh's art and see the world potentially in a little bit of the way that Van Gogh himself did. Very cool. Hello, lovely people of YouTube. Last Thursday, there was a Ren drop. I was out for a meal with the family, and then Friday I was in Bristol for the Knox Hill and Victus and Liv Sangster gig. So I'm excited. I am taking a bit of a hybrid approach with this one, Vincent's Tale, Sunflowers Prologue. What do I mean by a hybrid approach? Well, I'm going to watch the video now for the first time and you can see my initial reaction, but there is a channel in my Discord server where people are discussing this video, the prologue, and I have read some of those comments deliberately, and also read some of the comments on Ren's actual video. So first time watching and listening, get hit by the music hopefully, but done a little bit of research in the way that I would if it was a Disco Doc reaction with the AI character. So let's see how it goes. I can see in the pinned comment from Ren that this was made during lots of health challenges, lots of recent health challenges, obviously going to Mexico for the stem cell transplant, the autoimmune flare left him blind in one eye. I think it's worth honouring that, and just saying, just pointing out that Ren continues to create through, unfortunately, continued pain and suffering. So that's pretty incredible. This is just a prologue which sets the scene for the first chapter of the story to be told on the 31st of this month, and that there will be some Instagram stories and things, which sounds a little bit like the old tales. It also says there'll be a return to the old bardcore style that some of you have come to know, but taking it to some more unusual places too. Exciting. Let's go.
Tragic scenes last night in London. A 14-year-old girl was found dead from a fatal stab wound. Her attacker, a 14-year-old boy, is in critical condition after a violent altercation with a police officer. Over to reporters on the ground for more.
So referring to Jenny and Screech, putting us in that timeline, I remember when Ren first mentioned Vincent's Tale, and he put a call out for actors or people that looked like Vincent van Gogh, and he said, I'm sure he said that this wasn't directly linked to the old tales, or didn't directly sink into the storyline or something. So very interesting that we got that news report at the very start of this prologue, which is saying you are there, we're there just after that event, presumably.
Such a beautiful shame. The sunflowers will when the skies do not rain. It's a story I'm sure we all know. It's a moment of man.
There he is. Doesn't he look great? I think I read that the guy's name is Aaron. He looks fantastic. And it said Luke on his sweatshirt. And I also read, I'm not taking credit for anything that I'm reading in the comments. I'm letting you know, being transparent. I also read that Luke was the patron saint of artists or musicians. Artists, I think. And it said Luke on his sweatshirt. Looks like he's rolling a spliff.
Inside of the woes, we all fall down in London town. Shaky ground carries me. Whoa, rains down, blindingly loud. Never surrender.
Incredible gravel in Ren's voice. We all fall down. Of course, I'm not doing it justice, but that real sort of visceral, gravelly tone. That pa. Well, it's actually 1 2 3 1 2 3, which is a waltz. You stick me on a dance floor in a club, and I shuffle round so awkwardly. I look like a ironing board that's been injected with Botox. But Mrs. Doc and I did go through a couple of years of having dance lessons, Latin American and ballroom dancing, different styles, and having a set routine and working to that in a very structured way did actually suit my brain. And we worked our way through our medals. We did our bronze and silver and then gold medals for various routines, including the waltz and the Viennese waltz. Yeah, it sounds like quite a fast waltz to me. That 1 2 3 1 2 3. But most impressive, Ren's voice, that tone, and also the lighting as well. Real high Ren vibes for me, with extreme darkness, but then where the light is picked out, it's very, very beautiful. Sunflowers, a vase of sunflowers. Now, I wonder whether there is 5 or 6 sunflowers in that vase. Sunflowers is a series of paintings, not just one, by Van Gogh, if you're in the UK, or Van Gogh, if you're in the US, typically. And there's one vase with 6 sunflowers, and it's sometimes known as vase with 5 sunflowers. Don't know why. Was it that hard to count them? I don't know. But there was a guy called Yamamoto who was one of the first collectors to see the potential in these paintings, and he bought this one in 1920 for the equivalent of £3,200, 10 to 20,000 yen. He showed it publicly in Tokyo, but it fell and the frame got very damaged, and he was furious, and he made a vow, I will never show that painting again. And ironically, maybe that's why the painting was later destroyed, because during World War II, in 1945, the same day that Hiroshima was bombed, his residence, this collector's residence, was hit by US bombs. His home was engulfed in flames, and the sunflowers painting was destroyed in the blaze by fire. He escaped, he lived, he never spoke publicly about that painting again, but he did devote the rest of his life to writing haiku poetry, and he released a haiku book. Sadly, none of the books have survived, and none of the haiku poems have survived either. But one of the collections of poems that he published was called Sunflowers. So he was obviously deeply affected by that painting. And I think what's interesting is that's the one that ended up burning to nothing. And the frame that he'd chosen, the collector had chosen to put it in, was very unusual. It was bright orange, like flames, like fire. And this was one of the things that was most commented upon. And this was the one that burnt down. Oh, and, excuse me, and the first thing that I thought of when I saw the title, Sunflowers, and then the sunflowers in the vase, was Secret Garden Party, SGP, where of course Ren played last year, his first live show in several years. And Secret Garden Party is famous for a field of sunflowers, very beautiful, and they put like secret stages hidden within. And I'll put up a picture of me and Mrs. Doc in that field. Last year we were at SGP, we saw Ren's set. But also what happened last year was Secret Garden Party, the festival, they burnt down the main stage. So there was an incredible drone performance and fireworks, and they burnt down the main stage, and this was a symbolic act against the music industry and the weight of the big players in the music industry and the control that they have over music and charts and festivals and so on. It was a very symbolic moment, and I wonder, Ren wasn't particularly happy with his set at Secret Garden Party, even though the crowd loved it. Sound didn't go right for him, it didn't record. I've said before, I sat with him on a grassy hill afterwards and I had a chat with him, and he really was quite devastated, certainly at that point, by his SGP performance and how it went. And I wonder whether there's something symbolic there as well about the sunflowers, just subconsciously, a tiny little sliver where Ren layers upon meaning, upon meaning, upon meaning, upon meaning. Maybe one of those tiny layers for Ren is the sunflower, symbolising that Secret Garden Party performance, and the flames representing the way that SGP burnt down the main stage and elements of music. For him, perhaps that's the flames are symbolising the end of that for him as well, to put it behind him, and so that he can then be, you know, the phoenix that rises out of the ashes. Maybe I'm reaching, but hey, that's a reactor's job, isn't it? Get us all thinking. Actually, before I forget, have you heard of the phrase nominative determinism? Nominative meaning to do with the name, and determinism meaning like predetermined. And the idea is that based upon your name, this might determine what you do for a career or certain elements of your life. So Usain Bolt, one of the fastest men in the world, his name literally means, you know, a flash of lightning. How could he have been anything else? And there's other examples too. There's Amy Freeze, who's a TV meteorologist. William Wordsworth, famous nature poet, where his worth came from the words that he wrote. And there's tons of them, and they're a bit fun. Why am I bringing this up? If we look at the words Ren Gill and Van Gogh or Van Gogh, they're structurally very similar. The guttural consonants are the same. The vowel sounds are very similar. And again, subliminally, I'm not saying any of this is deliberate. I just wonder whether, with all the things that Ren and Van Gogh might have in common to do with mental health struggles and artistry, might this have lodged at the back of Ren's mind in a sort of echo of nominative determinism, that they're almost sort of name twins? And therefore, is that why, out of all of the possible inspirations for this next era of the tales, we've ended up with Vincent van Gogh? Could it be partly because Van Gogh and Ren Gill echo each other? Orally. Not orally like that. Get your head out of the gutter. Sick Boy logo just appeared. Was it the rabbit? What did they call the rabbit? Christ, my mind's gone blank. On the TV, anyway.
Here lie the corpses of
Guitar on the sofa next to Vincent. I seem to remember Ren saying it's not, it's not actually Vincent van Gogh. I mean, obviously it's modern times, but it's not supposed to represent him necessarily. It's just somebody with a resemblance. I think that's what he said. I'll have to dig out the old social media posts. But I don't think we're supposed to take it too literally anyway, despite the guy that looks exactly like him and the burning sunflowers.
corporate machines planting seeds where the grass never grows, but the grass it stays greener in places unknown as we all fall down.
We all fall down. Beautiful, beautiful licks there. And what's that remind me of? All fall down, we all fall down. Ring a Ring of Roses was about the Black Death, wasn't it? The bubonic plague. So I don't know how that would be linked without looking. And I just want to enjoy listening to this, even though I keep stopping it.
In London town, shaky ground carries me. War rains down, blindingly loud. Never surrender.
So it's gone from that old waltz, umpa, trumpets to essentially EDM. In the UK, we always used to call EDM dance music. Of course, EDM is short for electronic dance music, and I believe was a term that came in from America, and now we say EDM, but to me it's always dance music. Anyway, or sometimes you say like electronic or electronica, and that's what the beat has seamlessly morphed into. Ren looking pretty darn scary there. Pointing the remote at the room with Vincent in, at us, the viewers. Was that a nod to Animal Flow live when he sat in the back of the bus? Bus King, the king of the bus. Sorry. Wow, it's taken on a dark tone musically and in the video. Before, I mean, it wasn't like bright and happy before, but the music obviously was much more upbeat. Visually, it was still quite dark and gloomy and despondent, I would say. But now it's like menacing. It looks like Ren's playing a normal bloke out, work, down the pub, drinking. I mean, he looks on the bus. He looks angry. To me, it's routine, monotony, Groundhog Day, over and over again. as I said, I had the advantage of seeing a few comments over the weekend. One of them identified this song, I think that's playing in the background in the pub. I think it was something to do with Mississippi, was it? Let's have a look. I can't spell. I should be able to spell Mississippi. MISSISSIPPI. They taught that to 1980s, 1990s school children in the UK. Why? Not sure. Never been to Mississippi. Never had to use it. Waiting Down by the Mississippi Shore from 1911. Speaking to nostalgia, longing, hopeful expectancy, that sense of waiting for something, expecting change, perhaps. I mean, we didn't really talk about sunflowers earlier. Sunflowers as a symbol, the reason that Van Gogh painted them was because they were a symbol of hope and renewal and new life and excitement. And the burning of them in this video is like the opposite of all of that. Ren, you tease. You little tease. July 31st is now 10 days away for me. 10 days to wait. I loved it. Only Ren really could create something called a prologue that in itself was an incredible song, an incredible music video to go with it, creating this rich tapestry of a new world, a new universe for us to enter. Linking it back to the old one, the old Tales universe. How it exactly will link, we don't know yet. I've seen some theories already, some fan theories. I don't think Ren's really given us enough there for us to guess. Although, of course, in retrospect, when we get the next 3 or 4 or however many installments there are going to be, I'm sure we can watch that one again and we'll be like, shit, didn't see that, was right about that. And that is part of the fun, isn't it, with Ren? That is all part of the fun.